Hello everyone, welcome to all of you in my English channel Elite English Club, and today I brought poem for class 10th, The Tale of Custard the Dragon. This is a very wonderful poem, so let's start. First of all, we will know about the poet Frederick Oden Nash, who was an American poet and famous for his light verse. His work period is from 1902 to 1971. He was known for his humorous poetry. He was a famous producer of it. He received Sarah Joseph Hale Award in 1964. Now we will know the introduction. Oden Nash has written a poem about a little girl, Belinda, who owns many pets, namely a black kitten named Ink, grey mouse named Blink, yellow dog named Mustard, and a coward dragon named Custard. The poet has described every character to be brave except the dragon, who is coward. But the whole situation changes when a pirate attacked Belinda's house. No one else had the guts to face him. It was the dragon that killed the pirate. All the characters are happy because they are saved by the dragon, but quickly change their thoughts and describe themselves to be more powerful had the situation not been so confusing for all of them. Now we will see summary. The Tale of the Custard Dragon is a ballad. It is a humorous poem about a cowardly dragon named Custard. Custard is a pet of Belinda, a little girl who lives in a little white house with her pets. She had a black kitten named Ink, a grey mouse named Blink, a yellow dog, Mustard, and a cowardly dragon, Custard. The poet says that all of them are very brave except the dragon. Others were described as brave and are compared with animals like bear, tiger, or lion, but the dragon is very timid. He always demands a safe place for himself. All the other characters make fun of him, but one night they are surprised by the entry of a pirate in the house. All of them get frightened and start hiding here and there, but to everyone's surprise, the dragon not only tackles him but also eats him up. As all of them are saved by the Custard, they thank him, but at the end they realize that they used to make fun of dragon because of him being timid. So all of them suddenly start saying that they are more brave and could have handled the situation in a much better way. Here the poet has tried to say that sometimes a timid person is the actual hero in the toughest situation of life. So I hope you got the message of the poet. Now we will see the line by line explanation of the poem. As you know, this is a ballad, so ballad is always a 4-line stanza. So let's start. First stanza. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. Really truly, it means really truly, and wagon is a vehicle used for transporting goods or another specified purpose. So the poet says here that once there was a little girl named Belinda. She lived in a little house, white house. She lived with some creatures who were her pets. They were a black kitten, grey mouse, a yellow dog, a little red wagon, and a creature that the poet says was really truly a dragon. Now we will see the stanza 2. In stanza 2, poet says, now the name of little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she was called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. So mustard, a yellow colored flower, and coward means weakling. So here the poet explains the name of all animals that are tamed by Belinda. He says that the name of black kitten is Ink, the name of grey mouse is Blink, and the little yellow dog had yellow color, and so she called him Mustard, and the dragon that was a coward means was a weakling was called Custard. So now we will see the stanza 3. Custard, the dragon, had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, and a realio trulio daggers on his toes. Spikes means thin pointed surface, scale thin bony plates. Underneath, that is situation directly below, fireplace an outdoor structure of brick, and dagger a sharp knife. So poet says here, the poet decides the dragon that it had big sharp teeth and spikes on top. This means that its skin was pointed on the top. On the lower part it had scales which were bony plates to protect the skin. His mouth has been compared to a fireplace because it is assumed that dragon can release fire from the mouth. Even his nose is compared to a chimney which is used to pass but smoke. His feet are like a sharp knife, that is dagger. Now we will see stanza 4. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased his lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. So, now we will see barrel, drum, chased, hunt, rager, anger. So now the poet explains the inner strength or the bravery of various characters of the poem. He says that Belinda was as brave as a group of bears, and Ink and Blink were so brave that they could hunt lions. So here he has shown the bravery of the kittens and the little mouse that could hunt even a lion. The dog was very brave, just like an angry tiger, but it contrast all of them was Custard. Custard the dragon was not brave. He was so afraid of everything that he always demanded a safe cage. Now we will see the next stanza, that is 5th stanza. Belinda tickled him, she tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the Relio Trilio cowardly dragon. Tickled means toke. Here it means to tease, unmerciful, cruelly, or Percival, a knight in the King's Arthur court. So, here, Belinda used to stroke the dragon in a very cruel way. Ink, Blink, and Mustard made fun of him by comparing him to a knight named Percival, who was thought to be brave but ran away due to lack of courage. They used to tease the dragon while sitting in their little red wagon. Now we will see 6th stanza. In the 6th stanza, poet says that Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Giggled, laughing, and weak, here it is sound of made by the mouse. The poet says that Belinda used to laugh so loudly that her voice echoed in the house. Blink the mouse used to laugh and make a sound of weak. On the other hand, Ink and Mustard would tease him by asking the dragon his age whenever he used to demand for a nice safe cage. Now we will see the 7th stanza. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Meouch, cried Ink, and ooh, cried Belinda. For there was a pirate climbing in the window. Nasty, bad, or unpleasant. Growl means bark. Pirate, a robber. Window, it is used for window. So, in the 7th stanza, poets try to say that while all of them were making fun of dragon, they heard the sound of someone entering the house. When they looked forward toward the window, they saw a pirate climbing up the wall. The dog barked at him and kitten mewed to him. Belinda cried, "Oh," because all of them were scared of the pirate who robbed ships. Now, in next stanza, what is poet saying? Let's see. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. So, pistol, a handgun, and cutlass, a short sword with a curved blade. Here poet says that the poet describes the appearance of the pirate. He says that the pirate was holding handguns in both his hands and had a little sword too. He was holding his sword with his teeth. He had a black beard and his one leg was made of wood. This means that though the pirate was a disabled person, but still he was frightening all the other characters. Moreover, he intended to harm them. In the next stanza, poet says, Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yell. Ink trickled down to the bottom of household, and little mouse blinked strategically mousehold. So paled, it means yellow due to fear, yell, a sharp cry, trickled, that is running, strategically planned, and mousehold in his hole where the mouse lives. So now the poet says, when all of them saw the pirate, they got frightened. Belinda was so frightened that she turned yellow due to fear and started crying for help. Mustard the dog started crying for help too. The kitten Ink ran down towards the bottom of the house. If he had already planned for it, the mouse Ink ran into his little mouse hole in order to save himself. Now what next? Let's see. So, but up jumped Custard, snorting like an ancient dragon, clasped his tail like irons in dungeon. With a clatter and clank and jangling struck square, he went at the pirates like a robin at a bomb. Snorting make a sudden explosive sound, clash, fort, dungeon, underground prison, clatter clank, sound of hard object falling on each other, and jangling squirm, sound of hard object falling on each other. Robin, a bird. So in the next stanza, what happens in the story? Let's see. When all the other characters that were earlier defined as very brave got frightened, the dragon did the most unexpected thing. He jumped onto the pirate and made such a strong sound with his nose, as if the engine was producing a sound. Not only this, he hit his tail on the ground with great force, and it produced a heavy sound of metal being rubbed against each other in the underground prisons. He attacked the pirate just like Robin Bird and attacks the worms. Now we will see what happened next. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they did not hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit, gaped, stared with mouth wide and open, gulped, swallow, grog, a drink, flagon, a container made of silver in which drink is stored, and gobbled, swallowed hurriedly. So the poet says here, the pirate got so shocked by the dragon's reaction that he opened his mouth wide with shock. To gather some strength, he drank some alcohol from a container in his pocket. After gathering some courage, he fired 2 bullets on dragon but missed it. Custard the dragon ate every bit of this fierce-looking pirate. Okay, now we will see what happened next. Stanza 12. In the stanza 12, Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him, no one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and blink and great around the dragon that ate the pirate. So embracing is hugging. Mourned, feel sorrow for the death of someone. Victims, sufferer, glee, delight, and Garrett dance. So, in the 12th stanza, poet tried to say that when the pirate was dead, Belinda hugged the dragon and Mustard licked him. No one was sad for the death of the pirate. They were happy. Both Ink and Blink were running around the dragon in happiness. So, here the poet says that all the characters were happy and they were showing their gratitude towards the dragon as he had saved them all. Now we will see in 13th stanza. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if I had not been fluttered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We would have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. Flustered, upset. So now the poet says that after thanked and showed their love towards the dragon, they changed their mind. They were reminded of how they used to make fun of this coward dragon, and now they all were praising him. So at once the dog said that it was just because of some confusion that he was not able to do anything, otherwise he would have been twice as brave as Custard. Both Ink and Blink also said the same, and they would have been 3 times braver than Custard. To this the dragon said that he fully agreed to this, that all of them were more powerful and brave than him. Now, last stanza, what happens? Let's see. Belinda still lives in her little white house with her little black kitchen and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and her little red wagon and her really little red dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in race, but Custard keeps trying for a nice safe cage. So at the end, poet says that the poet is used to the same line again to show that after this terrific episode in which the dragon was the hero, where all the characters still undermined him by saying that they are more powerful than him and could have handled the situation in a much better way. The poet says that life started again in the same manner. Belinda still lives in that white house with Ink, Blink, Mustard and Custard. All of them are very brave, whereas the dragon is still a coward who always wants to save place in his cage. So now this was the wonderful story as a ballad. Now we will see literary devices. Rhyming scheme, AABB, house, mouse, wagon, dragon, and repetition use of the word little. Oxymoron is here, use of 2 words with opposite meaning, pet, dragon. Anaphora, repeated use of word at the start of 2 consecutive lines and a little and really. Refrain, repetition of a sentence again and again, really, truly. Poetic license, really, truly for real, true. The spelling have been changed to create a musical effect. This is called the poetic license. Simile is here. Dog compared to mustard, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard. Alliteration is here. Coward, and she called him Custard. C sound is repeated. Metaphor, chimney for a nose. The nose is like a chimney. Here is the real meaning is hidden there. Allusion, reference to any person or place. Percival. Personification, Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. So this was a very wonderful poem. I hope you liked it. Do not forget to share and like my videos. Till then, take care.